As we look at what new plant cultivars hit the market each season, we often see some of our old garden favorites appear in bold new colors. And one of these that I found this year was a phlox called Wanda. And this is a hybrid cultivar. It's a hybrid between a low-growing parent and a taller garden phlox parent. And it's taken on some of the best traits of each parent, including these magnificent large blossoms, purplish pink color. And like most phlox, it's going to start producing in spring and keep flowering well into frost. The plant also has a very nice, fine textured foliage. And of course, the phlox is going to produce well in full sun, but it also takes some partial sun conditions as well. We also have a trio of new sun coleus, and I find the name sun coleus sometimes to be a little misleading because the plants do equally well in the shade as they do in the sun, but oftentimes they just have more color if they're in full sun. And this first one is called Peter's Wonder, and it is a delightful, colorful coleus. Has shades of pink and purple, greens and creams, and this doubly serrated edge just gives it a really fun texture, a lot of texture and a lot of good color. Next to it we have Royal Glissade, and this one is a little more subtle, I think, in coloration. It has the nice chartreuse green foliage, but with this beautiful raspberry pink venation, and the edge of the leaf is also fringed in raspberry, as well as the bottom side. So that darker raspberry really makes the green stand out. This sun coleus is called Tuckerman's Ravine, and it's got sort of a wild look to it. We're growing it in some pretty good shade, so the color isn't as intense, but it certainly has a lot of purples and reds, yellows and greens in the foliage. And a lot of texture. Look at all the wave that we have in there. Now these coleus will all grow to a mature size of around 2 feet, and you could cut them back to keep them a little more compact. And it's also a good idea for those cultivars that produce flowers to deadhead them. We're growing coleus for their foliage, not their flowers. One last plant that I wanted to look at is a gardenia. Now gardenias in general don't mix very well with Oklahoma. They like it to be a little warmer, but not too hot. They don't like cold winters, so we tend to struggle. But this one, which is called Crown Jewel, is doing fairly well for us. Now this is its first year, so it's just getting established, but it has performed very well. And plant breeders over the last few years have been starting to look for gardenias that can take a little bit more of the cold, and that way we could get them through the winter and enjoy the magnificent, deliciously sweet flowers that they'll put on in the spring. But another benefit of the gardenias is that this smooth green foliage is evergreen, so we have interest year-round.